Right, Monkey.
Right, Noodle.
Someone donate some money before I was even in the room. Thank you. Spyro, I've got your app up on my screen actually. I had your app up on my screen. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. Music's getting overused. That's basically my intro for my stream. And also, if you look through the playlists, there's fucking tons of Star Citizen music, which I will link to on the Redacted website and stuff. But there's, 1 second, let me, you've triggered me now. You've triggered me musically. Right, let's fucking bring this bad boy up. Playlists, nah. I even have a playlist for music and soundtracks, but this has a fraction of the Star Citizen music in, and there's 70 tracks there. Look, come on, dude. There's loads. There's fucking loads. Thank you very much, Hannah, for the chip. Very much appreciated. Make it rain with my ad bits. Thank you. Okay, so I'll do this for Espire's, for his sanity. There's this cool app, okay, myfleet.space, which allows you to visualize your fleet. So it's really cool. I think it's a cool thing for orgs to use. I will be reviewing it in a video or as part of a news piece this week at some point, for you, Aspire. So just, it's absolutely fucking great as a little app. So it's not been forgotten. I just haven't got around to it yet. And then it visualizes it like this. You can see your fleet, and you can see to scale how it shows your fleet, or whatever ships you want to put in there, really, I suppose. But then you can help plan all stuff by showing everyone's ships off and stuff is the idea. It's really good. I liked it. But we will be looking at that properly. Actually, another thing that we'll do while I'm here is BoredGamer. BoredGamer is on the 21st of April up in Manchester, up by Wimslow, by the CIG office. But it's not by the Wimslow office. What am I talking about? It's near Wimslow office, but it's actually by Manchester Airport in the Radisson Blu Hotel. You should go and buy tickets, because I'll be there, and Brian Chambers will be there, and Aaron Roberts will be there, and lots of other YouTubers and streamers and people will be there, and there'll be lots of fans, and there'll be lots of other devs. It should be a day of Star Citizen awesome celebration, yes. Probably the best Star Citizen event in the UK this year. So, this is going to be a stream of some length of time based on how tired I feel. It's just midnight here. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm not tired enough to be able to sleep. So I thought I'd come on. I had a very quick watch of Calling All Devs, where they talked about some medical gameplay and it coming in 2 parts. So we're going to have, which is really good because it's how I actually thought it was going to happen. So we've got medical triage and like field medics who will run around with stims, and you can like jab people and go, get up soldier, and get them back on their feet. But for more major injuries, you're going to need facilities. So at the lower level, the Cutlass Red. At the high level, you're going to need to be able to repair yourself at a similar place, a medical version of Cryastro. And then you'll pay to have yourself repaired or whatever. Endeavours and things like that are going to be interesting. I'm not sure if they're going to act as... actually, I think they are going to act entirely as mobile spawn points and for those facilities, but we'll have to wait and see. What was the other... There's a couple of other things that were very useful in Calling All Devs. The Avengers coming in, was it 3.2? But that was in the schedule report anyway. There wasn't actually too much stuff. What do I reckon? Medical facility rise on cap ships will function. I think that'll be like limited spawn points, and also allow you to repair your dudes, basically. Are you going to expand your brand and start covering other games? So yeah, but on stream mostly. The multi-game stuff will almost entirely be on stream. I'll probably have a second channel on YouTube that will also cover highlights of other games that aren't Star Citizen streaming. Maybe some other bits and bobs as well on it. But the core of the main channel will remain Star Citizen in the meantime. We might eventually add another game to it. If Anthem's really good, we could potentially have a little bit of Anthem on the main channel. But it's unless something really captures my attention and my viewers' attention, then it will be Star Citizen. Charlie Velek, they are. Say my name, say my name. Sorry, say my name, say my name. So I haven't finished doing my woman's voice on my my Roland VT. I've got robot. I can pretend I'm a sophisticated sex robot from the future. And I can do an epic voice. But other than that, nothing's been set yet. So we're using the voice transformer in the future. But don't you worry. Oh yeah, so we can talk about the insurance claim stuff. So basically what CIG have said for insurance claims is that ship theft won't be permanent. Now, this was more directed at piracy at the moment. So they're talking about pirates stealing ships. It's a short-term thing. It's you're not going to be able to reinsure those ships. You're not going to be able to make them non-outlaw ships. They are going to be, once they've been stolen, the idea is that you'll make money from them by stripping their components off or whatever. Potentially, you might be able to hide them. Potentially, you might be able to make a lot more money from capturing a ship, but the idea is that you don't keep a ship that you've stolen. Now, they didn't really talk about other capture mechanics that aren't piracy ship theft, so I'm interested to know exactly what how they see capital ships in that. Are capital ships capturable, or are they like short-term capturable, where the idea is you strip them of components and then nom them up? Because basically what they said with the capture of pirate ships is, one of the ideas they have is that the ship will just eventually just disappear, effectively. Once you log out, the server goes, well, the ship's been claimed by the other person, and it's no longer needed, and it's a rogue ship, and it will just be removed from the server. I don't like that idea personally. I'd like to see the ability for pirates to be able to keep ships based on the amount of storage they've got, but they can't take it to anywhere that's got an ATC or a lawful. It's an outlaw ship. It will be literally as soon as it's been claimed, it's just identified as a rogue, as a hostile ship, as a criminal ship. Obviously, you can't insure them, and once they're dead, they're dead. Once they've gone, they've gone. And it might be a lot better, and you make a lot more money from the stripping of them, or the nomming them up into salvage. I also don't mind the idea of having a NPC fence who literally buys stolen ships at a fraction of the price or whatever. The important thing is to have the ship theft mechanics a high risk reward for pirates and for other players to do, that they can make a lot of money from, that is better than just blowing up a ship. Significantly better, I suppose, because it will be higher risk, probably, or at least harder to do in some way. And the other mechanics there as well are, how does non-piracy ship capture work, like liberation of ships and things like that.
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Oh my god, Soundwave!
Always watch your videos. You are the source of info on Star Citizen. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, Soundwave. You absolute legend. $100 is a fuck ton of money. Jeez. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Soundwave, I was going to say, is the worst of the Transformers, and it's true, but I love your name, so thank you very much for the money. I just insulted you. So recently the stream have paid for my room to be replastered and repainted, and literally a dude, I phoned up some places, and a dude's given me a really cheap quote, and it's a bit weird. It's because I can get a lot of stuff done from my room, and I'm getting it soundproofed and stuff. But he's just like, oh yeah, I'll do the plastering for, it's like 325 quid, which is a lot cheaper than I thought, which leaves a lot more for the soundproofing stuff, which is great. And he just like, he phoned me up and went, oh, where are you? Oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And he just like came immediately to my house. And he's either really crap because he's got no work, or he's just really keen, or I don't know. It was a bit weird. He was like, yeah, I'll get it started tomorrow if you want. I was like, well, I'll phone you back if we are going that route. And he's the cheapest. I haven't seen any bad reviews about him. It was weird. But thank you very much for the money. Very much appreciated. I'm after 64 gigs of RAM at the moment for my computer. That's not for gaming, although I suppose it is a little bit. Might be able to mess around with RAM drives, but that's for video editing and stuff like that. So thank you very much. Love your face. When do you think the Crytek will come out? No, wait, I'm reading a question there. What was I talking about? I was talking about insurance and ship theft and stuff. So yeah, insurance and ship theft. I understand that CIG need to make a game, and they need to have mechanics that are balanced and work, and that's the most important thing. Like they're now starting to put all the elements of their game together, and in practice, and a lot of the design documents, they have to not necessarily cut things, but they have to make things work for the game. So a lot of us have different ideas and little different fantasies on how stuff will work. Now, for me, one of the major things my org was going to do was be capture alien ships. Now, we still might be able to do that. I still will be able to do that. But we might not be able to keep those ships in the way that we just go add them to our fleet. They don't want everyone to have all of the ships really easily from capture and that sort of stuff either. And they don't want that form of exploitation of insurance. So one of the worries that they had was that I could keep on claiming my ship after giving it to one of my friends. So I could have 20 people flying around with javelins eventually, because I'd claimed, oh, it's been stolen again. So they want to avoid that. And obviously there's going to be restrictions on doing that. Like if you constantly claim on something, your premiums will go up. It will take a lot longer for your ships to arrive, things like that. And insurance as well might not fully cover all the costs potentially and stuff like that. So just bear that in mind. Thanks, Soundwave. I appreciate it. I will. So one of the things I want to do as well, when I do streams. I want some scheduled streams that I will do every week that are Star Citizen streams, like just a couple. And then I'll do my random ones as well whenever the fuck I feel like it. Once this room is soundproofed, however, which will be pretty soon, by the end of February, say, because that's a lot of time to get it done, I'll be able to stream whenever the fuck I want. And I'm an insomniac, so it'll be whenever I feel like it. Whenever I wake up randomly, I'll be like, I fancy streaming. I will take a look at Sea of Thieves. The people that I typically play with aren't into pirate games, which is annoying because I am. But yeah, I thought it was interesting with the Star Citizen guys talking about the mechanics of ship theft and insurance, because yeah, I would like pirates to be able to keep ships. I would like people to be able to keep ships, just not they might not necessarily get many benefits from keeping those ships. They can still fly them around, and the persistence should still use it. I don't know. As long as there are mechanics there to make UEC and the gameplay loops are fun, I suppose I'm happy. If we can't steal ships, how do I get a Saber Raven? You're able to buy them from players. I mean, you were able to steal them for sessions. That's a good question, actually. Like the F7, sorry, the F8 Lightnings. For people that don't have Squadron 42 and they don't have the super, haven't spent $10,000 plus on their accounts, they'd have to buy them off players, I suppose. Any way you can do it. Hey, love the content. Thank you very much, Pika. Pika Cloud. I posted a comment about your last video with some ideas. Please, can you check it out? I'm sorry, it's not much, but I'm broke. No, thank you so much. Pika, 1 second, mate. I will. Oh no, what have I done? Pika Cloud. I'll search for your name and grab the comments up later. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, mate. If you want to ask any questions, guys, questions in brackets. Hot topics at the moment, I suppose. Not really the Crytek versus Star Citizen case anymore, because it's more just the last Star Citizen reply was just there was no change in any plead or anything. It's just become a little bit more courtroom dramatic, like dun dun dun. That's about it. We can talk about the insurance, about the piracy, the not being able to keep stolen ships. We can talk about Calling All Devs that was just on with the medical staff. New Star Citizen website, things like that. Or whatever, game mechanics, anything. The roadmaps. What do you see as the real point in piracy now? Seems like a more risky salvage profession. Well, I mean, you're going to be able to extort people, you're going to be able to attack ships, you are going to be able to steal. In worst case scenario, it is in your best interests to, money-wise, to take a ship without blowing it up. Because then you can strip it down of components, you can literally take all the single components out, you can take all the cargo without damaging cargo, and then you can nom up the remaining parts of the ship. So it's if you even want to do that, you could just leave it as an empty derelict, entirely stripped of components, if you didn't have like a reclaimer or something, which is I think is a cool thing. The idea of just grabbing all the components and sodding off is probably quite profitable. Whose face do you love? I love my face. Thanks. But why should folks get free addresses from friends? Exactly. They should. But they should be able to fly with each other's, and that should be good enough. How do people feel about having insurance or not? If they end up losing ships in the game they might have paid money for, rather than earning UEC. So one of the things they said about insurance a little while ago was that definitely stuff that's bought with real money will have some form of statutory insurance on, even beyond its like 3 months or 6 months or whatever. So it will still be tied to your account, even if you lost it after that insurance period.
Spaceships.
AWH, you started to read my question but then remembered another. Loving the streams and
Sorry,
when do you think
that.
the Carrack will come out, and if you have spent 1,000 do you automatically get concierge or do you have to do anything else?
No,
Thanks.
No worries, dude. Concierge, you automatically get it once your account is worth $1,000 or more, and it automatically attributes to it, and just give it like a couple of days or whatever. The Carrack, I still think the Carrack will come out this year, and I will be doing a video on some of the stuff that I think may be scheduled for 2018 in the future, but hasn't been scheduled yet. And this will be like some mission stuff, some flesh on the bones of other mechanics, which are significantly more gameplay, some other ships and some other potential bits and bobs, and like including melee combat and stuff like that. But feel free to ask a question again if I have started reading it and then didn't answer it because I remembered something else. I'm pretty scatterbrained at the moment. So with your ship and losing them, ships bought with definitely with real money will be tied to your account. So you might have to pay like 80% or a high percentage of the cost of the ship to get it back, but it will still be able to be got back at some form of cost. So if you had like a Saber Raven, for example, I think you'd be able to get it back at like 80% of its UEC cost or whatever. That said, that might actually be all ships bought in game might have some form of statutory insurance as well. Although, they want to drive the economy, so they want ways of people losing stuff. Although, again, if they had statutory insurance on ships, it could be like 90% of the value of the hull you'd have to pay. I think it's an interesting one. When do we see pictures of your new room? At the moment, it's not new room. At the moment, it's still the shitty old blue walls. I'll constantly update as it's happening. I'll take pictures and I'll probably stream from here. It will be done relatively quick. So the last thing to the plaster drying will take like a week though. So yeah, so I mean, I'll definitely be doing other games. Like I'm looking to do some Escape from Tarkov potentially with those other guys. Anthem, anything that takes our fancy, I'll do multiplayer co-op stuff with. That's the sort of games I'm into typically. Any predictions on the Banu Merchantman? Probably see it in Grey Box by the end of the year, and a lot more cool stuff on it. We're not going to see it flyable until 2019. Voyager Direct News. Oh yeah, so every patch, your Alpha UEC is going to reset. A lot of stuff's going to be done in game from now on with obviously all the purchases. I believe the idea is we will be getting, I think they said or implied that we will be getting refunds, or hopefully we'll be getting refunds for our UEC purchases, if anyone made a UEC purchase. And then in the short term, your Alpha UEC you will start with each patch will be reset, but it will start at the amount of UEC you have on your account. So like I've got 100,000 or something, which is good to start with, but you'll be able to, it's only a tiny bonus because you'll be able to get that pretty damn quick in any alpha anyway. Not to mention what mechanics will we even have to make it plausible to steal a ship without destroying it. So one of the other things that's actually coming in pretty soon, I think on 3.2, it's not in 3.1, is it? Beep, 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 beep. Gameplay. No, it's actually in 3.1. There's a new ship haul, a new ship damage overhaul, which should be adding different death flourishes, different ways that ships explode and get critically injured and critically damaged. And critically damaged ships are an important thing in game because not all ships are going to just explode when they die. Most, in fact, won't, and a lot of them will be critically or entirely crippled. In that case, you'd be able to board them. Or salvage them more easily, but obviously you could disable ships in other ways as well, or target certain systems anyway. Why can't pirates have pirate insurance? So pirates, probably not pirate insurance, but there'll be outlaw insurance. There will be insurance for outlaw areas of space, just not an insurance for stolen ships. You see what I mean? Because no one's going to insure stolen ships. Maybe you could ask other players to do it. Other players might want to run an insurance organisation and then do shit like that. Maybe. You might better get stuff like that. If they enforce cool Moby-Glass mods and things, you might literally be able to have an enforceable insurance system done by players.
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Oh, thank you very much, Big Al.
Been 25 minutes and still new finger pistols. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. Why do people want me to do that? Is it because I'm British? Does it mean something else? Does it mean something that, oh, I'll still do it for money? Pew, pew, pew. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciate Al. Do you think this new piracy rule will cause pirates to simply become goons? No. So they're going to keep on iterating on mechanics like this, and it's good that it is open development because they tell us about them, and then we either get angry, or we say, wait until it's in our hands, or we help to guide them in the meantime. So the community's kind of voiced differing opinions on this, so they'll keep a lot of that in mind when further developing the reputation and piracy and ship boarding and stealing and all that sort of stuff. I don't think people are just going to become griefers because of it. The important thing from it for pirates is that they need to make a lot of money from capturing a ship. There needs to be that gameplay loop there. They just don't want to blow everything up. So as long as that's still the case, that's fine. Well, at least okay. Or at least a playable gameplay loop. No worries. Thank you very much for all the kind words, by the way. Thank you. Do you think CIG will ever remove the buyback pledges or put a timer on how long people can keep them? Yes. So as we get closer to beta, they'll probably they'll probably phase them out around beta time. So you probably don't have to worry until mid 2020. Being able to keep a stolen ship would definitely be the best option, but there should be a lot of consequences for the action, making it worth actually buying the ship. So I think that, another one you could do is have Grand Theft Auto type heat and stars. Like, the longer you've got a stolen ship, the more people start coming after you. If it generates missions and bounty hunters to come after you, if it creates a mission for someone to reclaim that ship and get the salvage for that ship as a lawful person, and they're allowed to use any force necessary on anyone that's interfering with them, that'd be great gameplay. You'll have like proper aggressive salvagers that are lawful going after pirates. That's awesome. Talk about the life of a Star Citizen James Bond. I'm sure there's going to be people that actually do the more espionage gameplay, and I think there's going to be a lot of quite cool stealth mechanics, but also more intriguey roleplay stuff because of face over IP and voice over IP and the kind of community Star Citizen is. I think that's going to work quite well. I'm looking forward to fan fests in the future where I can be a sneaky bastard. Do you think CIG? We already talked about that. Are we going to have a cool AI ship computers like Star Trek computer, Killjoys, etc.? So, probably not the native talkie computers, but you will be able to use HCS voice packs and voice attack to do that functionality in Star Citizen. So, not natively, but you can use external stuff to do that. And that's literally what the HCS voice packs are and the voice attack is. And it will probably be it'll probably have better support and be a bit more functional because of that, because it is an external product. I see this "don't keep what you steal" comment as I saw the golf swing scanner comment. So horribly bad that it wasn't even worth vocalizing. We'll see what they do, but it's good that the community are voicing their opinions on it. I understand why they might not want ships to be stolen like that, because it might be too exploitable, but I'm sure they'll come up with a solid middle ground, and we'll keep on it. We'll keep on following it. The biggest reason for this change is insurance fraud, not so much pirates having fun. Yeah, it's very much so that pirates still need to have all that gameplay. There needs to be a reason to be pirates. There needs to be high risk reward, but there needs to be that reward for doing stuff in a really cool profit pirate way. I'm really excited about pirates being done properly as or mafia or that kind of outlaw where it's I am here to make a profit, I just don't give a fuck about UE laws, or I'm doing it outside of lawful space. Yes, Scott, 60 indeed. Question in brackets like that, thank you. But and as long as I can see it, I'll pull it out. Can we install kit on our ships? You mean my mate kit? I'll talk to, I think is it Paul from HCS Voice Packs? We might get some BoredGamer-y voice packs in at some point. So yeah, there are going to be AIs for for turrets as well. So there are going to be AI modules that are based on your ship's computer and ship blade slots, which will allow you to put a module in a turret and then tell that turret to shoot all incoming missiles or incoming enemies of a certain type or whatever. You might be able to get those AI modules to run particular stations potentially as well. So like maybe the power supply have them automatically regulated, but they're not going to be as good as an NPC, and an NPC is not going to be as good as a human. Well, I mean, you're going to get some pretty derpy humans. I'll tell you that for nothing. Do you think I'll be able to fit a hawk in a carrack? No, I don't think you will, but we won't know until they're fully built out. But I doubt it. Extremely doubtful. My favourite ship overall is the Reclaimer, and I'm really excited at the fact that it looks like it's coming in 3.1. Big treasure hunting economy ship that does nom-nom salvage. It's got drones. It's very Nostromo-esque. It's really fucking cool. Come on. It's got a nom-nom. It's got a big nom-nom bay. Just drill and kick people in there. Oh my god. When do I expect Squadron 42 to launch? I don't know. I have no real idea, to be honest. I thought it was going to be 2016, so that shows what I fucking know. There's a potential it could be this year, though it's looking more unlikely, as they need to do a lot of stuff with the subsumption AI. I'd put my money 95% plus kind of thing at mid 2019 now. Remember me. Is there improvement for turrets players in my party? Is there improvement for turrets for my party that are in 3.1 or 3.2? They're constantly working on the multi-crew gameplay, and they're constantly working on making that turret experience and the multi-crew experience better. So I don't know when, I don't know how good it's going to be in 3.1 and 3.2, but probably a lot better than it is now. Combat is a big focus of 3.1, getting the core combat right again. I bet a high-priced NPC will be better than most human players playing this game. Potentially. So they're going to be a lot more focused. There's certainly going to be situations where an AI module or an NPC is just going to be better than a human that's either a shit human or someone that's a bit derpy or someone that's gone to the toilet quickly, if you know what I mean. You have any opinions on the increase in crew requirements for the Bounty Merchantman since its size increase? So Bounty Merchantman is an interesting one. It's going to have shops on that you can actually that can be running on the ship that people can like browse through as they're there. It's supposed to be quite a big traveling bazaar, so I think it requires a good amount of crew to have it working like that. You could probably strip down the crew and have it working just as a cargo ship, but it wouldn't be as effective. Bored, do you think that an AI module in a Hurricane's fighter turret would work so I could use it solo? Oh, interesting. I think you'll probably be able to slave it anyway to fire forward, although the ship isn't particularly tanky. It's supposed to be fast and use the turret to like maneuver around targets and things. And like do a lightning strike and then fuck off and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it supports AI modules. I'm not sure if it's got any blade slots or anything like that. So I don't know. Do you think... I mean, I would suggest getting an NPC for it. So you could use it solo with an NPC, if you see what I mean. Do you think salvaging a ship will have a high return, like trading to compensate for the lack of keeping a stolen ship, making pirating valuable? Yeah, so I think so. So I think if you strip components, those components probably can be sold as if they're not like stolen. Like, how would anyone know, sort of thing. And so those chip parts might be worth a lot of money. And then you could nom up the hull as well and get a good amount of raw materials from that hull. So as long as you can make a lot of money from it, it's fine, isn't it? And I do think that's probably what they do. What's better for dogfights? 325A or the Gladius? Oh, good question. Probably the Gladius now, although the 325A is going to have some cool little other utility things. And it's got its own like little tracking system, so it can lock on multiple missiles to multiple targets and fire them all at separate targets simultaneously. I used to use it for Vandal Swarm back in the day, because they could lock multiple ships and just fire them all at the same time. What do you lose if you don't run a full crew? Efficiency when using systems. It depends on what ship it is as well, so you might not be able to effectively manage all the turrets and all the systems of the ship. If it's a larger ship, then some of those crew will be security, potentially, or engineers running around repairing internally. So a lot of the time to kill on larger ships is going to be because they can repair themselves as they're in a fight. If you like lose power on a particular section of the ship, having an engineer running around and literally just fixing the fuse box is going to be much more efficient than having someone in a nearby turret do it. Imagine if an Orion could catch harassing ships and scrap them if they get too close. I think the mine laser will probably damage stuff. It's just going to be ineffective to get close enough to use it. Do you know if CIG will release a CCU? Well, character 600i am back. I own a Carrack. I want to try the 600i when it releases this year. I don't know. They keep on messing around with the upgrades, don't they? Carrack's $350. How much is the 600i? I can't remember now. But yeah, as long as the 600i is more expensive, then yeah. When do you think we'll see... next time the 600i is on sale, check it out in the upgrade section. You should be able to grab an upgrade then. Next concept ship potentially could come end of February. That's when I'd expect it. Though maybe end of March. It'll probably be the Vulture salvage ship, I think. Little small salvage ship. I'm not sure if there's AI blades on the Cutlass either. There's probably some. Might be a slot, I don't know. I'll find out more about the AI blade stuff. I'll find out what ships can support it, because at the moment we just have like the computer sizes rather than how many blade slots they've got. Do you think there's a reason for me to join someone's crew as opposed to fly my own ship and gain all the monies for buying low and selling low? Okay, so joining someone else's ship gives, or crew, or working as a group gives you lots of advantage. You can take on bigger jobs, potentially you can leverage more money overall for that, and more likely to survive and get away and stuff. So weigh it up. If you want to play entirely lone wolf, you can. I think the org gameplay, I think the group gameplay is important. Even if you want to go it alone, even if you want to lone wolf it, you can still do that, but as part of an org which like information shares with each other. So there's almost certainly an org for you. Should I start hoarding UEC chit now? I wouldn't buy UEC yet, or at all, personally. But I wouldn't buy UEC, not until it's normalized and we know exactly what's going on with it. Because yeah, we don't know how much UEC is going to be worth, really, and how it's going to be balanced or anything like that. Will we see the Orion mining ship by patch 3.4? They haven't got it listed. I'm not sure when we're going to see the Orion. The Orion is massive now, probably in like mid 2019 sort of thing. That would be my expectation for the Orion. Has there been any word of player reviews like Trusted Trader within Spectrum? So I think they've briefly talked about it a while ago. So like with 3.2, there is coming the distress call and the service beacon gameplay. Now, as that gets, and like player contracts and things like that, so you'll be able to move UEC across to each other, I think is the idea. Now, one of the things with that is that as that gameplay kind of develops and you'll be able to do full-on player-based missions that they make up, and they say, and they're enforced in a system, like take my cargo from here to here and I'll pay you this amount, escort from here to here, go clear out these pirates, and or go clear out these outlaws, and that they could be player ones or whatever, and you get paid for doing that. As that gets more and more sort of like in depth, and I've forgotten what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, as those mechanics get more fleshed out, I suspect we will see a rating system, Trusted Trader, or rate me or whatever for those people that do those missions. So yeah, he stole my cargo, 1 star. Yeah, he was a great person to work with, or a great crewman, as a higher crewman, 5 stars, whatever. So yeah, almost certainly get that kind of reputation system as well, where you'll be able to rate people. Notice that they've basically taken off LTI, off weapons, with the removal of Voyager Direct. Sneaky. Well, I think they wanted that sort of stuff to be ensured in-game. So, will there be reclaiming rights to salvage like we saw in Squadron 42 demo? Yes, I think that's what they want to do. I think they even want to generate that as missions, so they can sell salvage rights, and then that salvage is yours, or you'll be able to go to a ship and potentially claim it as salvage. I think that's the way they want it to work. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the love. Very much appreciated. Carrot Hangar ready. It's one of the ships that potentially has been not scheduled, but potentially could come out this year. Don't know when though. I'll try and find out more, and then I will be doing some videos about. Well, I'll do at least a video on stuff that may be coming out this year, but hasn't been scheduled yet for a particular patch. Do the ships, like the Cutlass Red and Blue reworks, for example, they're a good example of that I think are probably coming this year, but haven't been scheduled yet. Do the ships in Star Citizen have a similar in-depth ship loadout system to Elite Dangerous? I mean, it's just a real simple modular component system. It's wham bam. Yeah, it's different slots have different power plants or different weapons and thrusters that they can use. It's pretty simplified actually now. Why do you think that CIG has the mentality that VR and faceware are things that everyone wants and excited about developing, but an API to smart devices is niche and low priority? I think at the moment it's low priority for them, and they will be looking at mods and API stuff in the future. It's going to be a major part of the game. It's just not something they should be doing necessarily in the really short term if it takes them a bit of time to do it. I do want it. I want them to do mods now. I want them to give us modding tools and just let us go. Has EMP spam been asked about already? CIG have taken notice of it, honestly. They are balancing EMPs at some point, hopefully 3.1, but that gameplay will get balanced. It's not the intention for people to be able to stun lock them forever. I'm hoping that they don't have the ship that fires the EMP immune to it, things like that. It should be to do with redundant systems, and EMPs are relatively effective, but they cause havoc to your own ship, and they have to be used right. Rep from Corps, share rep for some situations. Yeah, I think that you will have reputation for missions and individual reputations with each faction, yourself, and your own particular reputation from like criminal and outlaw and doing missions. But orgs and corps will have their own reputation based on their members as well. Any guess when we'll see the F8A and the F8C specs? Probably pretty soon, actually. They'll probably show them off in like a ship shape soon. That's my guess. Obviously, with Squadron 42 coming out relatively soon, like probably within a year, maybe a little bit longer, maybe. We'll see more on that as well. So they'll want to start showing stuff like that off. I own the Redeemer, but I think it's in dire need of a rework. Yes. Should I hang on to it and hope for a rework? Or is that not likely to happen? You'll definitely always get like materials updates and stuff getting brought up to the current level of like damage states and LODs. I wouldn't expect like any form of major rework though. Wouldn't a rating system for players potentially cause reps shaming behaviour? No, well, why? I mean, it could potentially cause it, yeah. But you only... I suspect you'd be able to see the reputation of the person that was offering the job as well. I just bought, so you say be able to see each other's reps before you okayed it or whatever. I bought a game package. When is the Star Citizen multiplayer to be released? Star Citizen 3.0 is available to play now if you've got a game package. So you can jump in now. Just download it from the website. Star Citizen's Persistent Universe will go fully live as a game some point in the future. We don't really know. I'm expecting a beta, so I sit down and play game with your mates, sort of like mid-2020 now. Congrats, Sniper Wipers. Oh, you did on your birthday or something, wasn't it? Is it wrong that I'm playing Elite Dangerous while watching this? No, no. Elite Dangerous is a solid game. I've just bought the expansion for it. I'm going to be playing it with like some of my mates as well. Do you expect map/spawn point additions? I don't know what you mean by that. You're gonna be able to spawn at all the major locations when you respawn. Other than that, I'm not sure what you mean. In the future, yeah, there'll be loads of spawn points and things. There will always be a major landing zone or a medical facility. Bored, I wondered if you know what the new loot and scoot pack includes. It's only the loot and scoot concierge one, I think, that includes 60 months insurance. It also comes with the updated skins. The other loot and scoot pack is just 6 months, I believe. Are we going to be able to fit holding cells into the Connie or other? Don't know. There will be lots of different modules for lots of different ships, though. And lots of ones we haven't seen yet. EM prick, am I right? You are right. When do you think will possible mining ship prospector to buy? Well, mining is going to be coming in 3.2, and you'll be able to buy. Can't you buy the prospector now? The prospector will be available soon to buy. If it's not available now, I would probably wait until 3.2 though, because you might be able to buy it in game with Alpha UBC by then. Which of the under freelancer size scanning ships do you think is the best suited to pick out other ships on scan farther out? The Terrapin. The Terrapin, almost certainly. They should make the EMP have a long recharge, so it's a strategic use. Yes. Long charge. It generates a really big signal, and people can track stuff like that. Speaking of rep missions, how do you think they will handle rep gains with those on a sub-mission, aka I take a mission from a captain to perform a mission from a faction? Should I get some rep as well? Oh, so they are going to start having multiplayer missions, I believe in 3.2, where you'll get rewards and stuff like that by participating in a mission with other people. And it'll be split, so there'll be like 4-player missions. If 4 of you do it, you'll get the reward split 4 ways, but you could do it with 2 people and get it split 2 ways. Have you taken the rover for some drifting? I've driven around on it. I haven't actually driven on Yellow, I don't think. I've just been on Daymar. Is it Daymar? I think it was Daymar. I will mess around more. There's loads of stuff I actually haven't done in 3.0. Just kind of got busy with like life and I was grinding videos in general. So I need to get. I'll start in a couple of days again and start messing around again. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna go to bed in a minute. Is the flash fire mount for the Hornet obsolete? I believe it actually is. I'm sure the flash fire mount for the Cutlass, I'm pretty sure, was obsolete. I think it's obsolete for the Hornet as well. A lot of people are telling me that cargo hauling is the only viable option for money making at the moment. At the moment, it kind of is. You can do missions as well, but they're not very profitable. Yeah, just in 3.0, there's limited gameplay loops for monies. How would CIG balance players just EVAing with railguns? Well, when you fire railguns, you're going to get a lot of recoil. I'm looking forward to the Titan suits, though. Oh my god! No, you say they're going to be cool. They're going to be power loaded cool. You talk about buying ships with UEC or Alpha UEC. Won't we lose them each big update? Yes, each big update. So every quarter, your Alpha UEC purchases and Alpha UEC will be reset. Yes. We don't know what professions will be able to earn the most UEC, but there will be high risk reward. So potentially it could be being a pirate if you were really, really, really lucky as a pirate. This game is going to change many times in many ways during development. Yes. And even with the new design documents and stuff they're coming out with, the mechanics, those mechanics will have to be iterated upon. Some of those mechanics will be chipped down. Some of them will evolve slightly. So bear that in mind as they make the game. And they're now getting into the stage where they're starting to deliver, but some of those mechanics, they haven't been fully planned out, like with science and exploration and stuff. Like they've got a good idea of what they want to do, but other stuff might evolve into them. They might not be able to do things exactly the way they want, and this is basically what's happened with the ship stealing stuff. They've gone, oh, well, we might not let you keep the ships if you've stolen them. They're not a long-term thing, so they're just starting to tell us stuff like that with some of these mechanics. So, do you think if they start working on the Redeemer this year? No. Potentially, we could see a little bit on the Redeemer this year. Maybe they'll start working on it, but we're not going to see it until like the end of 2019 at the earliest. They should be giving you a UEC refund on those flash file amounts at some point in Valuable. That was in the Calling All Devs earlier today. It's never too late for a lasagna sandwich. What 4-man ship do you recommend for a good all-round experience for ship battles, cargo, etc. with your buddies? Probably a Constellation Taurus, a solid, relatively cheap ship that would sort you out 4-man. Potentially a Reclaimer, although Carrick's probably quite a good one. But for good value, probably the Taurus. Are there probably going to be planets that are extremely dense with alien foliage and life? Yeah, there's supposed to be. So yeah, we'll see some really diverse and different planets with multiple biomes and stuff as well. Their planetary tech is going to be pretty superb. I'm interested in seeing if we do see like lush jungles as well, because I haven't seen any of their jungle biomes yet. I know they have like the forest ones and stuff. So, do you know when they'll be fixing the terrible frame rates and random crashes that happen? So in alpha, there's probably still going to be random crashes that happen, whatever patch. So they'll always try and fix the ones that are happening, but more will probably crop up. 3.1 is going to be extremely, so end of March is when we're getting 3.1. It's going to be extremely optimized and polish focused for getting higher frame rates and that sort of stuff, as well as patch 3.3 coming at end of September. That's going to have object container streaming, and that's when the game should start to get what we would refer to as more optimized properly, starting to get optimized on a lot more systems, and then there's the potential for a lot more players to be in each server, and capital ships and stuff like that could start turning up. Lasagna sandwich sounds delicious, meat. Would the Polaris work okay as a search and rescue ship? And if so, what would be a good ship to have in the hangar? Oh. If a Terrapin would fit, Terrapin would be pretty cool. Potentially the new Avenger, because it's huge. Get Avenger Titan in it. We could have a couple of the little... I can't remember what they're fucking called. Argos. Like search and rescue Argos. I mean, I think that Subnautica's underwater gameplay would be a bit too complex for Star Citizen. I would like to see some cool underwater stuff though. Just they don't need to do extreme underwater things, because then Star Citizen is starting to do a bit too much. I want to see some cool underwater stuff. I want to see potentially underwater exploration. I just don't need to see huge giant underwater ecosystems. What's the role difference between light, medium, and heavy fighters? So heavy fighters are typically longer distance. Light fighters in the game are typically more agile, less armor. Medium fighters are stuff like the Saber and the Super Hornets and stuff. They're a good mix of lots of weapons on an agile-ish frame, and heavy fighters are normally longer distance. Can be heavy in the fact they have lots of guns. can be really heavily armoured and stuff, but that's not necessarily true. It's more that they're longer distance, which normally means they're bigger. Will you do a side-by-side graph showing where each ship is in the pipeline? Yeah, we can. I can grab all the pipeline data. We can do a pipeline video. I've got that on my list of things to do. Is there any other questions? Because there's not. Well, there's more questions again. It was suggested that ship buying might be moved back to 3.2. Is this a done thing, or is there still a chance? There is still a chance it will be in 3.1. Still a chance. I think it's pretty low, but there's still a chance. And I'll still push for that sort of stuff. There's a limited amount of pressure I can put on CIG, or that even the community can put on. But I mean, if that basically, if they can get it in 3.1, they will. Oh,
You need to sleep, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'll say I'm sleeping more often if I get paid $100 every time I say it. Jesus, thank you so much. You're a legend amongst people. I don't even know how to react. Yeah, you're just amazing. I fucking love my job. I love the fact I can make Star Citizen videos. I love the fact I make Star Citizen streams. I love the fact I can sit in my pants if I want to and stream talking about Star Citizen, and I can literally just talk to people and answer questions. That's amazing. I fucking love interacting with people. I love this sort of stuff. So thank you so much for allowing me to do that. It's pretty awesome. What do you feel longer distance means in the context of Star Citizen? So literally more fuel, don't need to come back to base so often to repair and refuel and re-equip and rearm. So that can be significantly more efficient quantum drives, more fuel tanks, ships being tougher, having more armaments, having more power plants. So you'll get ships like the Gladius or whatever that will need to, it can't go too far away because it doesn't have enough fuel. It doesn't have enough quantum fuel. It have to keep on coming back, and it has to live with its like parent carrier, or just go short range, or keep on stopping. Whereas a Banu Defender or a Vanguard, significantly longer range, and that's the role of that ship. They escort longer range ships that can potentially go as far as their parent ship can, or what if they're escorting without having to redock. Can I be on your crew board, and would you have a rank system? So I've been given a javelin because I was the first person to, and anyone else that gets this level can actually get a free javelin. 2017 recruits. That javelin was because people signed up on my account. It's not worth anything. I didn't buy it, so we're going to make it a community javelin. You're more than welcome to fly aboard that. We'll have some system for it. We're in the process of naming it in the moment. I'm going to shortlist all the names I like, and then we're going to vote on the names. But the idea of that is that people can learn how to multi-crew on that ship without fear of doing anything wrong. It doesn't matter if you blow it up. It doesn't matter if we ram it. We'll get it back. It didn't cost anyone anything. Nothing to be stressed about. It'll be hilarious for content, I'm sure. I don't want people trolling in it, but you can't really do anything wrong, really. I'm also running an org called Nomad Black, which I will talk about later, which are a lawful org, but they're a more sort of like, slight, not anti-UEE, but sort of like UEE a bit dickish, sort of like, and we're going to be living on fringe worlds. We're going to be a little bit like alien racist, a little bit anti-alien anyway. Javelin or Idris, depends on what you want. Idris is much more of a carrier. Javelin is very much a destroyer, warship. Boom, boom, boom. For the Avenger and the Hurricane, what loadout do those ships have? Well, the Avenger has size 3 hardpoint and either 2 size 1s or 2 size 2s at the moment. So it's kind of a light fighter. The Avenger is. The Hurricane is much more a heavy fighter. The Hurricane is a heavy fighter in a slightly different way. It's very lightly armoured, but it's got a fuck ton of guns on it. It's got the big turret's got like, rather than say a fuck ton, we'll bring up the ship matrix. I am tired now, and I cannot remember. Ship metrics. Also confirm the current thinkings of the Avenger. The Avenger might change, to be honest, as well. But Avenger Titan. And then where's the Hurricaneeroo? Quite like the Hurricane. It's grown on me a lot. Compare selected. Swoop. Swoop. Operate. So it's got 4 size 3s on its turret. It's also got another 2 size 3s on its nose. Oh, I can't remember all the stats of the ships anymore. I haven't looked at them for a while, some of them. It's got 2 size 4 mounts, but with 2 size 3s. So yeah, it's 2 size 4 mounts on its nose, or on its wings, or whatever. And then 4 size 3s on its turret. It's got a lot of guns. It's a ship with a bollock ton of guns. It's pretty cool, but it's very lightly armored. And that's a ship. That's a boom and zoom nightmare thing. The Avenger, have they updated the stats at all? 2 size 2s and a size 3 on the nose. I think the Avenger, if you're looking for a starting ship and you want to go something slightly better or a little bit better than the Mustang Alpha, then upgrade to the Avenger Titan. You will not be disappointed. Everything else getting good. What system do you think we are likely to start in when the game goes live? I think you'll be able to choose between a few systems. Water vehicles are the thing. I think they are looking at doing water vehicles. They're definitely going to be vehicles that can travel on water. I'm hoping that we also get boats, and I think that is the intention. Can we call it boating? People do want to call it boating both ways. That's like the 5th suggestion I've had for that. It will be on the shortlist. Do you reckon being involved in piracy will be worth it? Yes. They'll balance it so there's high risk reward, and it'd definitely be worth being a pirate. Or it can be worth being a pirate. Any word on naming the ships? They haven't really talked about naming the ships beyond the 600i naming tags, so we'll probably learn more about naming ships in the future. I think that each class of ship can have a unique name, but once that name is chosen, that's kind of owned that hull, I think. I believe that also that we will be able to, in the near future, and I hope that's coming this year, be able to paint our ships in different colours. That's one of the systems that I think is coming that they haven't scheduled. I don't know when they're going to be having cargo and modded ship insurance. Then you'd get the persistence sorted first. Yes, well, I'll have it so people can join my org at some point. I just, at the moment, it wouldn't be... I don't run it properly at the moment. It's not... It's chilling out. So there's no point in opening it up. A Corvette or an Idris. So, if the Idris has full fighter cover, I still think the Corvette might win. If it's a Polaris. The Polaris is a big... It's obviously smaller than the Idris. But it's got those big torpedoes. With fighter cover, the Idris probably win. That's what fighters it's got, man. But just by themselves, the Corvette. 4 times through... Oh, yeah. Will we see the next great starship ship's return? Potentially, yeah. So, how skeptical are you that Star Citizen will get their roadmap goals? I think a couple of things might slip. I think they're going to be a lot better at scheduling this time. I mean, stuff could definitely slip. Hope it doesn't. We'll know more every month or so. They keep on updating this. I hope they make them. I think it's potential they could make all of them. And obviously they won't make all of them. But other stuff will get pushed in, and some stuff will get pushed to the next patch and stuff. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not particularly skeptical on it. But I am very much an optimist. I've noticed the Hull C isn't on the roadmap. What's up with that? I think it's one of the ships that... it's complex for multiplayer because of its squishy system, you know, its mechanics for spooling out and coming back in and compressing down. But I think it's probably one of those ships that will probably be coming this year that just isn't on the schedule because they don't know what patch or where it's going to be coming. But as I said, I'll be looking at some of those things like the Cutlass Red and Blue and some mechanics and melee and things like that. Any info on fixes to the Sober Comet's proto-burst guns? Because it's basically useless at the mo. Yes, so a lot of chips and weapons are actually useless at the mo. It's 3.1 should be fixed them, if not fixed before that in a minor patch. We don't know whether we're about to paint decals and words on ships yet. I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they allow it for org symbols and stuff as well. Hello, hello, hello. Itsy bitsy teeny weeny destroyer class anti-ship machinery. I can't do that in the way that you want me to. After the Squadron 42 roadmap, we need that ship-shaped pictogram on the site. We need the Squadron 42 roadmap on there first. I'm looking forward to that. Again, good day, board. Do you know if Star Citizen will support multi-channel audio 7.1? I don't know much about the audio stuff, unfortunately. So I don't know. Some of the stuff I actually avoid mostly because it doesn't really click in my head properly. I will find out some of the basics though for stuff like that and have at least a basic knowledge of what it supports and what the plans are for that. Do you think there will ever be mission edit tools for players to make missions for Squadron 42 privately hosted? So we are supposed to be having mod tools eventually for Star Citizen after release. So yeah, private servers, private mods, people making Battlestar Galactica mods, people grabbing Squadron 42 stuff and doing silly things with them. Will we see Perutus return or other TNGS ships? I'm hoping we see the was it the Boomslang? Boomslang was my favourite. Yeah, so potentially we could see them. Potentially they'll go on concept sale. Potentially they'll get reworked. Any chance of them implementing something that will protect my cargo from being lost when the game crashes? Hopefully there'll be ungraceful persistence, which will mean if you crash, you'll be able to log straight back in, back onto your ship. Persistence, hopefully, will be significantly better in 3.1. The idea being that you will log back in where you logged off, and everything that was on your ship and such should still be there. Any words on a possible fix for wreck weapons / ships before 3.1? There might be a minor patch fixing it. There just might be. We don't know if there is. Any audiobooks on Star Citizen lore or anything I can listen to while travelling? There's lots of different ones. I mean, I've got some very short ones that cover lore, but there are quite a few. If you search for Star Citizen lore, especially like Luciana and stuff, she has some short stories and stuff as well. There's quite a bit. No, so I mean, potentially that could be the first concept ship sale or concept item sale would be Titan suits. I'd buy a Titan suit. I'm excited about Titan suits. We'll get them this year, almost certainly. Will there be more mining ships? So they want a they'll sell the Prospector again, yeah. The Prospector should go on sale. I thought it was already on sale. Normally when they're flyable, they become they go on sale, but obviously that hasn't been the case for some reason on some of the ships. But that will change. But you're probably about to buy it in 3.2 for Alpha UEC anyway, so bear that in mind. They want at least one size of ship covered for each role. So a small, medium, large, and potentially capital ship for mining, salvage, repair, medical, all that sort of jazz. So they're likely to fill the gaps with concept ships. Where on Spectrum can I find back a feedback post like ours for CIG on the topic of needing to have some kind of renting ships with Alpha UC by 3.2 or sooner? You can't find any. That was a topic that was discussed. Bear Owl. I'm not sure why you can't find it. I'll have a look and link it in some of my videos or on my Reddit. It's definitely you'll definitely be able to find threads on Reddit about it. But CIG are fully aware that people want the buying of ships with Alpha UEC as soon as possible, and they did have it targeted for 3.1. It's just it might slip to 3.2 for reasons. If it at all is possible to have it in 3.1, I think they will get it there. But voicing your opinion does help put pressure on them for it. Where else? That's what we just talked about. Will we be able to buy billboards and buildings and plants like ArtCorp to act as home bases for orgs, etc.? I'm not sure. Billboards and advertising, I hope, is a thing, because I like that idea. I like that idea for, like, Star Citizen to get sponsorship from Coca-Cola and Intel and things, being able to sell advertising space in-game, but then the advertising space, Coca-Cola could sell it, could advertise, but they'd have to have it in law. They'd have to have it evolved for the whatever. I do expect that we'll be able to buy buildings and apartments and stuff on the populated planets as well. Will mods ever be able to provide comparable quality assets, and might this even pose a concern for splitting the player base? I mean, it's probably a concern for the player base, isn't it? You don't want to split the player base, but at the same time, you want all these cool mods and things. I only think it's going to get more players into the game, though, so it will only increase the overall numbers. Yeah, I think it's something that needs to be thought about. But I would much prefer players, even if it partly splits the community, being able to build their own mods, and being able to do those cool private servers and things. What was her name you said for audio? Aliciana? Yes. Aliciana. Aliciana Noir. There you go, there's a channel, mate. Yes. So we will. We're getting like almost 3/4, if not 3/4, of the Stanton system by the end of this year. Probably Microtech and the Crusader, if we haven't already got it, in the first quarter of 2019, and then they'll look at new systems, putting them in. I suspect we'll see Odin and stuff like that that are going to be in Squadron 42, because they'll be pretty much finished. Just a few additions and tweaks for the persistent universe. Do you think there will be sex gameplay in Squadron 42? Very unlikely. I don't think there's going to be that form of romance or sexy stuff in Squadron 42. I mean, you're on a military ship. Fraternization is probably not allowed. How much cargo space do you reckon a Titan suit will be able to take? Probably none. Probably just what you can hold. Inventory, maybe. So, very, very limited. Can we lay out armor? So there's supposed to be a damage system of materials layered over each other. You can have modular armor. I don't think you can lay out armor that's actually effective as armor. Where in the 3X patch should the hulls be available? The potential of seeing the Hull C, Hull B, and Hull A is a reasonable chance this year. Probably for 3.3 or 3.4. That's where I'm thinking at the moment. But I will try and find out some more information before giving a bit more of an educated guess and opinion. Is buying extra packages to melt into NPCs for your crew still an option? I heard someone talk about it in a video. I don't know how they're handling that anymore, Pika Cloud. We want to do agent smithing, I think, is still the intention, where someone can, one of your friends can take control of an NPC on your ship. I'm not sure if extra packages will become free NPCs for your use, though. They'll work out a balance for it. It's the sort of thing they'll think about and they'll balance it, and they'll talk about it a little bit later on in development again. In your recent videos, you said that the Dragonfly is for sale right now. I look on the website and I can only buy it in the Loot and Scoop package. I thought it was on sale. I do apologise that it's not. You should be able to. I thought you should be able to buy the Dragonfly. If you cannot, then I believe it is a mistake with the shop, and that it will be available again soon, as with the Prospector and as with everything that's flyable, pretty much. I say pretty much because obviously some of the ships are limited. The Dragonfly is not supposed to be limited. Dragonfly Racing. A few buying options. It's just available as the Loot and Scoop pack, isn't it? Cock. Well, that's annoying. I was mistaken. I do apologise. I know it's supposed to be available for purchase. I think I grabbed that line actually from the newsletter. I didn't actually check. That's my bad. We're going to go to sleep in a second. No worries. Will there be extremely dangerous storms that you wanted to get out of the way of? Yes. There's going to be environmental hazards, and there's going to be other things as well, like the coil, for example, the Squadron 42. There's going to be plasma storms. There's going to be lightning and frying things and horrible things that happen there. On planets, there's going to be extreme cold. There's going to be sandstorms. There's going to be environmental hazards, which can destroy your ship, can damage your ship, can give you debuffs, can do lots of different things. Take care, Scott. Bud, thank you very much for watching, mate. When the game is done and released, start making Star Wars MMO. Yeah. They got the tech for it. Someone will make mods for it, almost certainly. I know. I will go to bed in a second. CNN is fake news. I hear in one of your recent videos that game voice communication is coming soon. Not soon. September, I believe, with 3.3 is the intention for Crytek. Face over IP and voice over IP added into the game for 3.3 at the end of September is the plan. Yes, which is very exciting. Yes, so stuff like with the Hull C, it's just not scheduled in this year because they don't know what patch it's going to fall in. So we'll find out more information about that. Say we, I mean me. They talked about one of the planets in Orion. I think it was have hundreds of Vandal clans warring with each other. Do you think we'll actually see huge Vandal armies fighting? We'll definitely see fleets fighting. I'm not sure what size huge is to you, but potentially hundreds of ships potentially could be fighting. I'm looking forward to happening on stuff like that and being able to salvage things. Is there a way to minimise the amount of taxes by buying ship/plus packages? I don't know what you mean. You buy different currencies and things. Have a look. You have to do some research. When I sneak onto your Javelin and you and your mates sign off for the night in the ship's beds and I creep out and crash your Javelin into the sun, will you die in game? That will count as one of your lost lives in game. Yes, Dritz. Thanks. Appreciated. Well, that makes me feel better that you're going to come on there and try and murder us all by flying us into the sun. I'm not sure if I'm going to allow anyone other than trusted people to be able to use the pilot console. Because there'll be permission system in the game, and there'll be like codes and stuff for stuff. So if you want to pilot the ship, it'll be like, oh, the system doesn't recognise my authority to do that, because I'm not this guy. What's the password? I don't fucking know. You technically break it, you can probably hack it, and there will definitely be ways around it. As gameplay, especially if you actually have snuck aboard. They don't want that gameplay to go, no, you can't do anything, but I'm interested to see what they actually say and do and start to push. The Dragonfly Black is for sale for $150 with a cutlass. That's not what I meant when I said it was for sale. I thought it was individually for sale. Have you thought about doing reaction videos? It'd be hilarious to see your reaction to the Sandstorm games on demo. Not really a reaction video kind of guy. I mean, I can give breakdowns and commentary on stuff. I may do reaction on stream maybe for certain things, but not my sort of. I don't think it's content that adds anything. If lodged of players became NPC and live on. And Shah, they get on explode. I'm sorry, I'm having issues reading that question. It's partly because I'm tired, Simon. But I'm going to go to bed. After reading that question, you've made me realise that I'm too tired for this shit. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you so much for the subs. Thank you so much for the love. It is very much appreciated. I do fucking love you guys. I will do a breakdown of some of the stuff. All of the stuff from Calling All Devs last night. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll also add some extra bits and bobs about cargo and some of the other stuff that was talked about in the last few hours. So that'll be there to look forward to. I may even stream again tomorrow afternoon, just chatting and chilling. When do you think we'll see weapon attachments? that's another thing that's not been scheduled that I thought was actually going to be in 3.0. So potentially we could see it in 3.1 or 3.2, and that will be the modification of FPS weapons. So putting scopes on them, changing the magazines. We're not going to have a huge amount of customization for them, but we'll have a good amount. Sort of like maybe PUBG-esque is a good quick reference of there'll be multiple scopes, multiple magazines, things you can put on the front, things you can put at the back. That sort of stuff. No worries, Simon. Sorry, I'm really tired. Do CIG do Valentine's Day cheaper game packages? No, maybe. Maybe not cheaper game packages, but well, there might be like a game package with 2 game packages in that you can split or something cheaper. There's occasionally a ship sale. Maybe. Unlikely, but maybe. Probably see a ship sale on Valentine's Day. Just I'm not sure if we'll see cheaper game packages. Thank you very much, guys. I love your faces. Let's see if there's someone to raid, though. Thanks. I'll start actually playing some Star Citizen 3.0 at some point as well. And there's quite a bit of gameplay I want to do here on stream and with other people. Right, let's drop these people on Captain Richard. Guess he knows how to treat people. I love your faces, guys. You take care. Talk to you soon. Peace. Peace and love. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me on the stream. Fuck you. This Robin BT is amazing. Oh shit.
Bye, guys.